Tonight on Comedy Central's BattleBots, it's the road to the giant nut. Spin orbiting force takes on Hazard in the middleweight semifinal. Then in heavyweight semifinal action is Kilohertz. She tries to vaporize the volatile Voltark. And the super heavyweights are Ronan and Dual. They'll go tread to decide who goes to the finals. Live at Fort Mason. It's the place where BattleBots come to win championship titles or die. Welcome to Comedy Central's BattleBots, everyone. I'm Sean Salisbury. The excitement is building as we move one step closer to finding our champions. My co-pilot, as always, Mr. Bill Dwyer.
I got your back, buddy. With Backlash winning the lightweight division, there's still 3 weight classes in need of a champion. First one up tonight is the middleweights.
Bill, you couldn't be more right. This middleweight semifinal has Spin Orbiting Force going up against a tough opponent in Hazard. As you'll see, Spin Orbiting Force got to their semifinal fight after a nasty scuffle with a very aggressive Blade Runner.
Hazard hammered Pegleg in a very short, devastating fight. He advanced and met a pretty game opponent in Turtle Roadkill, but ultimately had no trouble on its way to the semifinal matchup.
We spent some time getting to know Dan Danik and Tony Bucciani a little bit better. Watch this and you will too.
By day, Dan Danik is a computer software developer and his Team Delta partner, Tony Bucciani, is a corporate lawyer. Both Dan and Tony are highly respected, incredibly intelligent men from good families. Why then do they spend their spare time doing this?
You get to do what your parents told you could never do. Like, you get a radio-controlled car, don't run it into the wall, or it'll break and we won't buy you another one.
You don't get punished for breaking your friend's toys and this. You get rewarded.
Which just goes to prove you can be the smartest guy in the world all day and still do stupid things.
Any questions? Well, for some scientific specifics on Spin Orbiting Force, let's go to our science man, Bill Nye.
SOFO is powered by a 12-volt gel cell battery pack protected by 6061 aluminum. The robot's main weapon is a half-meter spinning steel blade deployed by a linear actuator arm that will blast your bot right out of the battle box.
Thanks, Bill. Now let's get down to the battle box to get the introduction from Mark Vero.
Division semifinals. Introducing first, in the red corner to my left, he's mean, foul-tempered, deranged, dangerous, and quite often unpleasant to be around, but don't let that stop you from giving some love to Super Orbiting Force. And in the blue square, he is warm, tender, cuddly little ball of evil violence and hate. Give it up for Hazard!
The lights are on. It's robot fighting time. It's Hazard. The small robot, Spin Orbiting Force, with that long arm here as we start this semifinal middleweight bout.
You know, we say Spin Orbiting Force only has one weapon. He actually has 2, the goalpost-like arms he uses to capture his opponents like that and drive them into the Hazard.
Great hit by Hazard, but it looked to me like it stopped his lawnmower-type blade now.
Once it stops, he's got to stop and let it rewind again, let it go.
There you go, back in the mix is Hazard's little lawnmower-like spinner.
We got something wrong with Spin Orbiting Force here. He's got a motor hanging off his arm, Sean. He's got a motor hanging off. Now he's got redundant motors. I said he's got redundant motors.
Explain what that means now. If we see a Hazard,
it's gone.
Go for the kill.
Now see, you see motor on the floor. The guy's probably working furiously on the remote to get the other one going. In the meantime, Hazard's taking pot shots at him.
Scoring points as well he should here in this middleweight semifinal bout. Winner moving on. I don't see many Hazards coming out of the floor, the kill saws and the ramrods. Take a look at this. Looks like incapacitation, maybe.
Might be.
Spin Orbiting.
We see the arm going up and down, so maybe they got something going.
Another big blow by Hazard.
There he goes again. He's back on his feet.
Well, look at Hazard utilize that to his advantage and drive him into the wall.
You know, Spin Orbiting Force has styrofoam wrapped around the arm to minimize the effects of that blade from Hazard.
But how much can can Styrofoam do to stop
Against
spinning
that blade? I
Yeah.
don't know, not too much. I say tear it up, Hazard.
Take a look at this now. Again, we don't see many of those Hazards coming
that's
out of the
the point
floor
there.
as Hazard continues to be on the aggressive. But you know what? I'm impressed with Spin Orbiting Force's comeback here as we get to the middle of this fight.
And he's dropping that saw blade, and the spinning blade of Hazard, not too effective right now, Sean.
Well, that spinning blade of Hazard now, so basically it comes from being low to the ground and utilizing that leverage because he doesn't have the blade to his advantage right now.
And the driving skill, right now he's driving circles around Spin Orbiting Force. He's got him on his back. Drops him off of the spike strip, and he's stuck there.
Look at
That's
this
it, he's
now.
stuck there.
We are
Oh, Sean, check it out. He's using his saw as a wheel to pull himself off the spike strip.
as we were.
Brilliant.
Unbelievable
Oh.
driving there by Spin Orbiting Force as we're inside about 30 seconds now. As Hazard again using that leverage to get underneath Spin Orbiting Force in a great middleweight
Spin
fight.
Orbiting Force making some sparks fly here. I love sparks.
There you go, and Hazard has not been able to use that lawnmower-type blade in some time. This has turned into a wonderful bout. We're about 20 seconds away now from the close of this and the winners. Moving on as Hazard continues to drive Spin Orbiting Force into the board.
Hazard, a lot of power, but Spin Orbiting Force scoring points by dropping that saw.
You like the comebacks by Spin Orbiting Force here.
Oh, I love the guts. I love the guts.
Great jump and
Scoring
aggressive on
aggression
both
points.
ends. Oh, there's the buzzer. No defensive fight here. An appreciative crowd. Spin Orbiting Force
that
comes
was-
right out. But I'll tell you, Hazard came back and struck quickly.
Yeah, look at Hazard coming at him right here with the death blade, the spinning death blade, scoring some points. And now here you see Hazard picking him up, taking him into the spike strip, and dropping him off right there. Yeah, I'll call you.
Could that have been the final one that sent Hazard on? We'll find out as we go down for the decision.
In a 7-2 decision for the winner and advancing to the middleweight finals, the blue square Hazard.
7-2. What a hotly contested match.
Now let's take a look at the battle stats. Spin Orbiting Force had 7 slams and Hazard had 6. Spin Orbiting Force also led Hazard in jabs 8-5, but Hazard won the match when it forced 3 Hazard damages to Spin Orbiting Force's zip.
John, let's go find out more as we head down to the battle box floor.
Question. I know you have some repairs to do. How's the blade holding up?
It's holding up really well. The motors spinning it, though, have both broken, so I got to go replace them.
Okay. Well, you guys go too. Congratulations.
Stick around for the heavyweight semifinal between Kilohertz and Voltark when we return.
For more information on BattleBots and how you can enter a fighting robot in the BattleBots competition, log on to BattleBots.com.
Comedy Central's BattleBots is back. Jason Suarez in the pit with a report on Kilohertz.
Okay, as you can see behind me, the Kilohertz team is teamed up with another British team to work extremely hard on their robot as they're in last-minute preparations. They're trying to prepare the robot. It took a lot of hits, and now they're trying to come back for a very important semifinal match. They're working diligently. They're working hard. Can they get it done? That's the question.
Well, if Kilohertz can't make it to the battle box, Voltark will get a free ride into the heavyweight championship. Let's hope they can fix him.
Voltark's looked impressive, too, getting to the semifinals. If they get the repairs done, Kilohertz is going to need a good game plan for this fight, Sean.
Both these BattleBots have been down a highway to hell to get here, Bill.
Kilohertz is lucky to be alive, let alone still in this competition. It easily beat Gnome 2. It didn't have any problems hacking away at Monster. But in its last match, Kilohertz was being torn apart by Mahler until he bumped him into the kill saws, and, well, he killed him.
Well, Voltark slammed his way through 2 very tough opponents. First, he hobbled the blade-running Bender, as you see there. Then he showed off great driving skills against the usually dangerous Biohazard. Let's go down and get the introductions.
Introducing the principals first, in the red square, to my left, to hell with kippers for breakfast. This British robot wants to make a meal out of its American opponent. Here is Kilohertz! And its opponent in the blue square is just another day in the park of death. It's no picnic when you're fighting the All-American Voltark!
The box is locked, the lights are on, it's robot fighting time. Much anticipated heavyweight bout. We see Kilohertz and Voltark, and Kilohertz already on top of Voltark, but that's a disadvantage for Kilohertz. Not a lot of offensive weapon for him. A bit damaged, Bill.
Kilohertz lost his ass in an earlier bout, Sean, so now he's got to rely on his speed, which is formidable, 16 miles an hour. Oh, and his driving skills, but he went right over the kill saw. It's his own fault.
Take a look at this now as Voltark on the offensive. Right now, it's got to be the favorite in this bout because he's got more offensive weapons. And I'm starting to wonder here as I see Kilohertz drive himself over kill saws and all around if he hasn't lost a little control of his weapon and his machine right now.
He's got great speed, but he's got to go at Voltark from the right angle. If he goes at him straight on, he's going to go right over that wedge and into the articulated lifting arms of Voltark.
As we'll see hazards come out throughout this entire bout. 3 minutes or till incapacitation. Looks like Voltark's chasing around his child who's running away. And Kilohertz has got some pretty good speed, though. Has to keep that up.
That's what he's got to do. He's looking for the angle to hit him. Oh! Drove himself right over the kill saw again.
Once again, it makes me wonder, as we asked earlier, is he out of control right now because he keeps getting self-inflicted damage from the hazards? As they see it again.
There's the third time.
I'm so pumped up, my voice is going crazy here.
I'll carry you, buddy. I can take you through this fight. Look
Kill
at that.
saws again.
More hazard damage. Voltark just kind of sitting back and allowing Kilohertz to kill himself.
Yes, burying himself, as you see Voltark now doing the old lift technique on Kilohertz. The judges gotta love what Voltark's doing, yet Kilohertz is basically burying himself because the self-inflicted damage.
And Voltark's got that great tooth on the end of that arm. Now he's going to drag him over to the kill saws. Ow! See? They're not working right now. Those kill saws aren't working. Got to bring him to an effective hazard now.
What is working
He's on Hellraiser.
Voltark's nice lifting arm there as he continues to control Kilohertz. There you see the back of Stephen Felt. He wants Vlad the Impaler. He's lost to Vlad before, wants to get to that finals to meet Vlad here as Voltark is dominating this bout, but really hasn't had to do much on the offensive because Kilohertz has no weapons. You see the lifting arm
I
again.
think we're going to see a little offensive right here. Oh, yeah. Over to the kill saw, as you can see, chips are flying, and you can't tell right now that left-hand shield of Kilohertz is dragging on the ground. He's hurt.
You think Voltark's 4 years of time investment and $15,000 isn't paying off? Well, it is. As you see again, the lifting arm, this almost looks like a little taunt here at the end as we see Voltark.
There. That's the angle he wants now. Now he wants to bring him over to the kill saws just for the final. Oh, there goes the left-hand shield. He's just falling apart out there, Sean.
You got to give Kilohertz some credit for staying alive here. Look at we start to wind. It's over.
Fight strip. Right at the buzzer.
As Stephen Felt obviously knows he's going to win this fight because he had a little bit more on the offensive than did Kilohertz.
And here he was driving himself over the kill saws right there, Sean. That may have hurt him. We said he had driving problems. And now over the kill saws again, courtesy of Voltark.
Yeah, the hazards and Voltark dominate this bout. Let's go down for the decision.
Have turned in
Find out what happened.
8-1 decision for the winner and advancing to the championship finals in the blue square, Voltark.
Maybe our most intense driver. No surprise in this one. 8-1 Kilohertz. Bill, do the battle stats reflect the carnage we witnessed?
Voltark won every category. 4 jabs to Kilohertz's 3. 5 hazard damages to Kilohertz's 3. Slams Voltark 4. Kilohertz nothing.
Now let's go down to the battle box floor for some post-fight comments.
Voltark put up 8-1 victory, pinned it on Kilohertz. How did you feel?
I felt great. It was really great. Those guys had a lot of trouble getting the robot ready, so they put in a tremendous effort. They took a real beating, and they put up a really good fight. It was a good driving exhibition, I thought.
Stephen, Andrew, you're both one step closer to the nut.
Billy, you always tell me if it's bigger, it's better. The super heavyweights come to the battle box floor for their semifinal match. Comedy Central's BattleBots continues.
All hail the giant nut.
That giant nut is exactly what they're going for, plus $5,000. That is the prize. Now try to imagine a better scenario than this. Ronan and Dual pounding each other in the super heavyweight semifinal. I'm not sure you can.
You know what? I can't. These two powerhouses are set to rip each other apart for a shot at the championship title.
Both of these robotic battlers have shown, Bill, that they deserve to be here.
Ronan earned his place in the semifinal bout by first outwitting the boxy and powerful Odin. Then, he added punji sticks for extra defense against Ginsu and basically disassembled him.
Duval did right by hammering the whirling dervish slam. Then Duval defeated the Stingray like Rhino in what many thought was going to be a much tougher fight. Here's the untold saga of Duval creator Scott LaValle.
You wouldn't know it to look at him, but Scott LaValle is BattleBots' nastiest competitor. Could this baby-faced man-child be tormented by some dark past? Novato, California looks nice enough, but every town has its dirty little secrets.
I noticed it's kind of strange that they keep him distanced from the customers. Not a lot of interaction there. And sometimes you wonder if it's the way he wants it or the way somebody else wants it. I have never had any problems with Scott LaValle.
Scott was a loner. He was a very quiet, unassuming kind of guy. Scott's a little weird. Sometimes you look at him and you just aren't sure if he really wants to kill you or shake your hand. A special person like Scott makes a special friend.
They call me Rubutz. R-O-B-U-T-C. Hey, Rubutz, how you doing?
He built all sorts of things. Most of the things that exploded.
I like to get into mischief.
He has always been a very good kid.
You know, it's all part of thinking out of the box.
Let's go to Mark Vero for the introductions.
Introducing first, in the red square to my left, presenting the Saws of Strife, Mac Daddy the Knife, here is Ronin! And its opponent in the blue square, ready to turn this metallic mambo into a showdown, hoedown from hell, introducing Do-All!
Peter Abramson is a movie puppeteer and has recently worked on Me, Myself, and Irene building an animatronic cowhead. Scott LaValle also helps out Trey Roski and Greg Munson on their super heavyweight Ginsu.
Box is locked, the lights are on, it's robot fighting time. Super heavyweight semifinals, a couple 300-plus pounders getting it on. Duval to the left, Ronan to the right, and Ronan a little methodical as this fight starts.
Two big tanks going at one another. Winner's going to meet Minion in the finals. There's a lot riding on this.
Yeah, and I don't think quickness is going to overtake this fight. These guys are both feeling each other out early, as you see Duval initiate the opening contact against that little spinning wheel there.
And he's going right at Ronan's saw. Not afraid of that at all, Sean.
Well, what is the saw really going to do to a 300-plus pound piece of machinery, Bill?
Tear him off. Tear up vital organs.
As you see Duval on the offensive, hitting and moving with that ramrod, knocking Ronan around, and Ronan kind of staying in the same place. Starts to make you wonder, is there some control problems as he continues to defend?
When you see a robot just standing still like that, Sean, usually means his remote is out, his saw blade's still spinning, but there must be a channel out because his treads aren't moving.
Looks like other than the front of Ronan, he's got a lot of those sticks around to protect himself on the defensive end, though.
He added those punji sticks in an earlier fight to protect himself against Ginsu. They're not helping him here. In fact, they're costing him in hazard points.
There you see.
Right over the kill zone.
Yeah, the kill zone's coming out, doing some damage right there to Ronan, who hasn't been able to move from that position for a while, and Duval again on the offensive, hammering Ronan from the get-go and still.
Duval not letting up at all. He knows he's got Ronan right over the kill sauce. Might as well leave him there. He can't move. Can't move at all.
You can't win if you can't score by the judges' votes, and you see Duval's on the offensive, and the countdown's begun. This is not going to go the full 3 minutes. Ronan gets counted down. Duval's over. He
moving on to the championship. He did it all. Now we see Ronan moving a little bit, but it looks like only one tread. Yes, we salute you.
Well, when you're moving after the buzzer, not a real good sign, as we see Duval on the attack from the beginning of this fight.
Oh, yeah, and going right at him, right at the front of him, scoring big points right here, backing up. Look at the traction he's got with those treads. Oh, yeah. big points and just going at one with a couple of big treaded sumos.
Sorry about that, Bill. We're going to go down for the official decision. It looks like Dual's going to give Minion all he can handle in the super heavyweights.
The winner by BattleBot knockout and advancing to the championship finals, the Blue Square Dual.
No surprise domination. It's official. Dual moves on to the super heavyweight championship against Minion. This fight was never in doubt.
When we come back, we'll tell you who's fighting who in next week's championship bout.
Well, the fights are over, but Comedy Central's BattleBots is still here.
Nothing left to do but crown the winners and tow away the losers.
Well, let's check Dual and Ronan's battle stats.
The battle stats tell the story. Dual had 7 slams to Ronan's nothing. Jabs were even. Both robots had 3. But in hazard damage, Dual had 5. Ronan had none.
Well, let's go to Donna D'Erico in the battle box floor to get some reactions.
Congratulations. Were you at all afraid of Ronan?
Actually, no. I thought it was going to be an easy match, and it turned out to be pretty easy.
So it was exactly what you thought. Thank you.
In tonight's middleweight semifinal, Hazard gave a beatdown to Spin Orbiting Force to advance to the final.
Voltark manhandled Kilohertz, who fought bravely unarmed. Voltark vaults into the championship round.
I love the big boys, the fat guys, the super heavyweight division. Dual did in Ronan and moves on to the super heavyweight finals. We're one show away from crowning our champions and giving them the big nuts. So for Randy and Jason Sklar, Donna D'Erico and Bill Nye, I'm Sean Salisbury.
And I'm Bill Dwyer, leaving you with something you can't live without, the BattleBots Hit of the Week.
You're watching Comedy Central. For the only news you'll ever use, stay tuned for The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. Next.
Do not construct or operate a robot or BattleBot without proper supervision.